Aussie wristwatch. I'm Jess, and well, I'm always excited about talking about watches, but I'm particularly excited today. I bought a, how do you call it? I guess a novelty watch. They're all novelties, right? But I bought a sports watch, and what I mean by that is a sports team watch. And yes, I'm dressed up in garb today, which is from Breitling, because my mate Jonathan from the Sydney store hooked me up because he knows what I like. Thank you. But yes, he secured a very special watch for me. So if you don't know, I'm sport mad. I love Formula One. I love most sports, but I particularly love Formula One, and I love the NFL. Cannot explain why, just I enjoy it so much. So I'm a 49ers fan, go Niners. And I have been since I was a little wee tacker. And again, I can't really put my finger on how or why. I suspect maybe it was my dad who got me into it, but I cannot be certain. And sadly, he's not with us anymore and hasn't been for a very, very long time. So I can't actually ask him now that I'm an adult. Was it you? Or did I just cotton onto it some other way? But I remember watching Don Lane on SBS hosting the Super Bowl every year on television, and I would watch it and thoroughly enjoy it. So the other week, Breitling launched an NFL series of watches. They launched the Endurance Pro and the Chronomat. And the Chronomat GMT Automatic 40mm. I saw it and I went, I actually really like the Chronomat. I love the onion crown. I love the links. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get that watch. So it launched a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of weeks ago I was actually in the US, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go there and I'm going to at least try it on, but I'd really like to buy it back home. So I'm in the store in Honolulu, and he goes, we didn't really get any. He goes, I got like 2, can't remember the teams, but there's 32 teams and they've all got their own watch. The thing about it too is the dial is very, it's understated in the sense that it doesn't have like the team branding all over it. You've got to go to the caseback to actually get the team logo, which is something that I quite like about this watch. But it's distinctly the Niners red. So that's what makes it a Niners watch. And the red dial is pretty cool. So anyway, a little bit of toing and froing, and the Sydney boutique made it happen. Thank you so much. So excited to have this in the collection. It's so cool. But let's talk about the actual watch, shall we? Because I know you're all busting for it. So here we go. Here's some specs for you. It's a stainless steel. It's pretty robust, right? It's it's 40mm diameter, 11.77mm thickness. So whilst it's a little bit larger in diameter in terms of like the Black Bay 58 I talked about more recently, it's actually a bit thinner than that watch, funnily enough. The movement's the Breitling caliber 32. It's an automatic, supports a second time zone with the GMT 24-hour function, which I've discovered lately I really enjoy having a lot. GMTs seem to be my new favorite watch, I think. It's got a power reserve of 42 hours, so it's on the smaller side in terms of power reserve time, but hey, I'm not going to complain too much. Its bezel is a unidirectional ratcheted rotating bezel, cambered sapphire crystal with anti-glare on both sides. Now the bracelet is that distinctive Breitling, oh, I'm going to get it wrong, Rouleaux link style, and it's integrated and it's lovely. The issue with this bracelet, other than it looks fantastic and actually feels fantastic on, is I was watching Jonathan size it for me in the store and it looked incredibly convoluted and difficult. I'm sure if you got used to it, it'd be fine, but I think I'm just going to leave that to the store to do. So that's, I guess, a downside if it's something that you do. But maybe you're far more competent at these things than I am, which is probably not that hard to be. As I said, these watches are understated in their team sort of appeal in the sense that they've just got the colors, okay? So they don't have the logos or anything on them. The difference is the Endurance Pros are a bit more overstated in that fact. They do, so, but it's kind of that thing where you know, and if you don't, well, it doesn't matter. So But you've got the engraved logo on the back, as I mentioned earlier, which is something I do love. So here's the thing. It's a gimmicky watch. Do not get me wrong on that point. These things are designed for a marketing purpose in conjunction with the NFL. Simple as that. So, funnily enough though, pretty much sold out when I was in the US, and it was about week 1 when they were launched. So, well, last laughs on Breitling and the NFL, I think, and not on anyone else. Having said that, the GMT, the Chronomat version anyway, is understated in terms of its gimmickiness. Like, if you don't know, and if you're not a NFL fan, you're not going to know that this is an NFL watch. You're just going to know that it's a pretty cool looking steel bracelet, steel GMT watch with the Breitling logo on it. So, but you're also not buying this unless you're an NFL fan, right? I'm just talking in terms of like aesthetic and people looking at it from a distance, whatever. But you got to buy what you love, and I bought what I love. Look, what are the strengths? The things I've talked about, right? The mad NFL fans, such as myself, are going to buy this watch. No one else. Is it a sense of exclusivity? I don't know. I mean, in the sense that yes, it's hard. It was hard to get. Apparently, maybe I'm the only one in Australia that has one. I think that's only true in the sense that I'm probably the only Australian that's bought one in an Aussie store. Happy for someone to say that that is not correct. I didn't buy it for that reason. I just actually really wanted it. 200 meter water resistant. It's sturdy. It's robust. It's kind of sporty elegance, I guess, from that sense. You dress it up, dress it down a little bit. The red dial on this thing is pretty cool. Having said that, there are a lot of very interesting and fun and funky team colors out there. So, you know, would I generally buy a red dial watch? No, not at all. I mean, who's going to love this watch? Me, avid 49ers fan. Obviously, traveling is a benefit with the GMT, which I've discovered more lately, and I've actually started to enjoy quite a bit. Now, let's talk price. So here it's about $9,900. That's expensive. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's expensive any day of the week, regardless, right? But for this type of watch, I think it's still on the upper limit of that. I mean, if you compare it to a Tudor or something like that, Tudor's probably about $2,000 less. One of those indulgent buys where it wasn't a question about the money factor, if that makes sense. It was the fun factor of getting my team watch. I mean, so the drawbacks, cons, whatever you want to call it, it's the 42-hour power reserve. It's on the lower scale for the price point functionality. The GMT I just talked about recently, the Tudor one, 70-hour power reserve, so not quite double. Significantly more than 42 hours, which you'd think you'd be able to get from a watch like this. So, but you know, again, given the fan edition label, it's going to pigeonhole people. But again, they're not buying this watch, right? They can buy a different Chronomat. So I don't know if that's necessarily a drawback to this watch. They've made this watch for a particular market. Look, is it going to have saleability? I don't buy watches for that factor, so I don't take that into account pretty much ever. I know some people do, but is this going to become a collector's item? I don't know. Maybe if the Niners win the Super Bowl, maybe. I wish. And it might potentially scratch up over time, given there's significant amount of stainless steel on this, including the bezel. Again, I'm not going to buy this watch because of them? Well, no, I mean, I bought this watch. Other people in the market for a Chronomat GMT going to buy this watch? Probably not. They're going to buy a non-gimmicky novelty NFL one, for sure. The NFL supporters are going to buy this watch, and the NFL supporters did buy this watch. It is sold out. You cannot get it, as far as I've been told. Thank you for the hospitality, making the whole purchase experience very special. I'm loving the surfboard signed by Sally Fitzgibbon. That is very cool. Why don't you guys tell me what you think about this watch? Let me know if you're watching out there in the US, fellow NFL fans, or even fellow Niners. That'd be cool. And did you get this watch? Did you get another team's watch? Do you love this watch? Do you hate this watch? What do you think? Tell me. Like, subscribe, do all those things the crazy algorithm craves. And until next time, everyone, have a good one.